Oh, there it is. Areva Martin. That is the woman whose name I was trying to remember. So Areva Martin is another one who has like a show and did an interview, and that's her. So how can you even say for certain that Areva Martin, with all her following and all of these things, actually believed that Kamala Harris was a good candidate? Because if you get $200,000, not for nothing, but I mean, I'm sure more than one person who would say whatever whatever you tell them to say.
6.5 hours later.
So
wait a minute,
part of it.
Areva Martin,
yes,
is the one who had me on the show.
Yes,
with Juliet Malveaux.
According to one professor, there is a myth. He calls it the myth propaganda.
You just a professor. She's an expert.
Propaganda of Black buying power, book written by my guest in this hour, Professor Jared Ball. Also this hour, returning guest and expert, Dr. Julianne Malveaux.
Why the fuck you lying? Why you always lying? Oh my God.
Oh my God.
Stop fucking lying.
A noted labor economist, author, educator, and political commentator is going to join us. She knows a whole lot about Black buying power.
Why the fuck you lying?
Oh wow.
Why you always lying? Oh my God.
I don't think I noticed that live though.
Lying.
Trying to show for really over a decade or more at this point is that what we are taught to conceive of as this concept of buying power is a misrepresented advertising and marketing revenue concept that has nothing to do with the actual wealth Black people have, and is really just a marker of money Black people could potentially spend on the products owned, produced, and marketed by mostly white ad buying companies and corporations.
Dr. Malveaux, thank you for joining this conversation. You are a labor economist, so you know a whole lot about the economy.
Why the fuck you lying? Why you always lying? Oh my
But
God.
she is a labor economist, though.
Lying.
Yeah, I partially agree with him, and I partially strongly disagree.
That's what he about to say.
If we are over consuming, should not those same corporations overspend on us?
Girl, have you lost your damn mind?
Don't buy a table at my dinner. Do something to essentially assist the development of Black economic infrastructure. So, you know, we all run to them to get a table at the dinner, to do this, to do that. And these numbers are used. But let the numbers be used to talk about economic empowerment. So I don't think we're too far apart, but frankly, I don't like this that you threw on me in your book. Not one bit. I'll just put it out there. But, you know, just do you, boo.
Why do you do that? What's
and
Jared,
that is
point
your new
of
name,
calling
boo?
out these noted African-American leaders?
So many gems in this discussion.
So
he wants to fight. He doesn't. So basically, I'm up for the fight, bro. I'm up for the fight. I'm your elder. I'm a seasoned economist. Bring it.
Check yourself.
So
damn.
Eric Hamilton, by the way, Dr. Paul, just for your information, since you throwing slings, is a dear friend and a mentee. So, you know, if you want to fight, brother, I got it. Seriously.
That's what he about to say.
You know?
Okay.
It's like that.
Wow, boo.
This myth thing
You was out of pocket,
is
boo.
misconceived. We do have that much buying power, and we use it, and we should leverage it. We should leverage it. If we're buying so much Coca-Cola, Pepsi-Cola, whatever. I mean, I wrote a piece years ago about we should boycott everything that's red because we overspend on red stuff.
You are the historian.
I think
Dr.
she's a
Malveaux is
secret
the
crip.
economist.
That's part of what I'm saying is the mythology. Buying power as a concept is strictly a marketing and advertising concept meant to connect. So it originates from the Selig Center in Georgia. And they say in their own data that their goal as an operation is to unite corporations with ad buyers. That's their goal, to expand the business community in Georgia.
If we spend money with the oppressor, we must get the oppressor to invest in our communities. If we spend money with the oppressor, we must get the oppressor to invest in our communities. We do have consumer power. And for someone
ending oppression, let's just
whatever it is, to dismiss our consumer power, I think, is insulting to Black consumers.
Quote,
See,
unquote,
Dr. Ball, you're packing that answer. I'm just going to, again, the listeners and viewers, when people spend money, they equate that with buying power, whether you're Black, white, red, or green.
and that's what I'm saying is incorrect. That's what my work is trying to get them to
when
know.
you spend money, can you just give us your definition without packing the policy in it? When we spend money at the store, what are we demonstrating?
We're demonstrating our ability to enrich those who own the products we're buying.
Okay, so that's it for you. That's all we're doing.
Yes.
And Dr. Malveaux, you would say that is powerful. Our ability to enrich those people.
You done lost your damn mind. When you get your damn mind, you call me.
$50 billion that people said they pledged post George Floyd was not $50 billion. It was money that enriched them. I think that Black-led organizations maybe got 5.
What the hell did you just say?
I don't disagree with anything you're saying, Dr. Ball, but there's a tone, I guess.
Because we live in consumer markets. We are consumers. This is a consumer society, as Dr. Ball has said, so I'll give him a small point of agreement. Our economy basically is driven by consumerism. So the question is how 70% of it is of our GDP is consumption. So the question is
70%, 100% of our GDP.
consumption?
What the hell did you just say?
It's factually incorrect. So what I would encourage Dr. Malveaux to actually read the work, to act as a scholar and a doctor and an elder and read the work and then produce a critique based on what you've actually read.
We're out of time, guys. Dr. Ball,
How dare you? You are rude and disrespectful.
But I just wanted to do a relatively quick, short video about a book referenced in a recent debate or argument between me and Dr. Julianne Malveaux, where she makes reference to this book, The $30 Billion Negro, from D. Park Gibson. And in her attempt to say that her argument was right because he had written this so long ago, in many ways, she was right. Not about the accuracy of her argument or his, but she was right in arguing that what she was arguing and what many are arguing in who critique my work most often without having read it, they're basing their economic analysis, as it's called, on marketing and advertising commercial media perspectives. And it creates all kinds of flaws. Let's just take a couple minutes and look at a few things from this book real quick. Okay, so yes, Dr. Malveaux was right that her argument and that of many in commercial media spaces, Black or white, is based on a much older one that comes from an advertising and marketing community. The supposed economic analysis and claimed solutions are not coming from sound economics and certainly not critical radical scholarship on political economy, capitalism, and are certainly most not coming from economic analyses that favor socialism. Again, we don't need to take much time with it. The book is very clear from the beginning that the $30 billion Negro is really, as it's written here, the publication date is 1969. That's already 15 years or so after John H. Johnson publishes Selling the Negro, the documentary we've talked a lot about here that's discussed in my book, and the Jonathan Fenderson book that I referenced that talks more about Johnson. It's clear. So that's the trajectory. So I'm correct in my argument in identifying the trajectory that this buying power and Black capitalist ethic and argument comes from. Gibson just follows the same point, and it's coming from someone who runs D. Park Gibson and Associates, or D. Park Gibson Associates, it's a Black marketing firm that is looking to bring ad revenue from the white commercial corporate world to both hire so-called Negroes in commercials, but also to market to the Black community, largely in connection with as he concludes the book, the National Business League, which is the Booker T. Washington founded organization that advocates entrepreneurialism, learning trades, et cetera, and so forth, and supporting Black business. So it's not meant to explain to Black people how the economy works or what Black people's relationship to the economy is. It's meant to make an argument about why corporations should take the Black market more seriously and capture their spending power, their spending dollar, while enriching marketers, advertisers, and a Black commercial press. I mean, it's so he does the same thing. He lays out the false idea right from the beginning. Literally, the beginning of the book starts with, chapter 1 starts with, imagine a country where with a per capita income slightly more than the per capita income of Western Europe as a whole, and considerably higher than the per capita income in Asia, Africa, and Latin America combined. Then he goes on to describe more, and then he says, this country does exist. It is the Negro market in the United States. Now, does he explain the relationship of this internally held country, colony? No. Does he explain it? No. He said he's making the argument why there is what he's calling a Negro market and why people should pay attention to it. And then he goes into describe, he says here that the fact that Negroes have billions of dollars to spend and that they can be influenced to buy a wide range of products and services through positive programs that recognize them as consumers, identify with them to buy, is a fact that is gaining increased interest and action from American businessmen. Yet there still exists a lack of information and understanding of this market.
Message.
Samuel Johnson said, a nation's ideals are judged by its advertising. So Gibson is arguing that the improved ideals of the country should be demonstrated through an inclusivity of so-called Negroes in commercials and ads targeting the Negro market. Then he says there are 4 reasons why the Negro market exists. 1, forced identification of the people comprising this market. 2, definable purchase patterns by this group of consumers. 3, the size of this market. And 4, the location of this market within the United States. Then he talks about the speeches he's given mostly to to businessmen, to American businessmen. In speeches throughout the United States, I've pointed out to businessmen some of the purchase patterns of the Negro consumer. So he's helping businessmen, meaning white corporate America, understand why they should hire him to market to Negroes. To sell the Negro market effectively, the market must be understood. So again, this is what my point is not really to pile on or make fun of Dr. Malveaux, but it is to point out that the argument she used against me without reading mine is old and not based in sound economics, certainly not based in a concern for improving the economic condition of the Black community or to overthrow the nightmare of a system that oppresses Black people. No. It's not to do that at all. It's to get money, to attract ad revenue. He concludes this chapter with he actually has a formula. I don't know if he's got a formula there. Another formula that we have successfully in our work for major companies, that we have used successfully in our work for major companies, is PR over ANS plus RR, which equals PS. And what does that mean? And he describes this throughout the book, is that this is public relations, that is PR over, that is, or supported by advertising and selling, plus programming to produce RR, which is racial reaction, equals PS, which is plus sales. So the book is about how to increase your sales to Black people. And then what does he do? Just like I end up talking about in my work in the updated version, he talks about all the pre-Nielsen stuff around the conscious consumer. He doesn't use that language. That's Nielsen's update. But that is, if you not Black, you don't have to have Black ownership or redistribution or anything. All you need to do is show some affinity for the concerns of Black people or the culture of Black people, and you will market and sell to them. And that's what the book is about. So then you can see, he's got examples of some of the campaigns he's worked on. This is for us Marylanders, the late great Frank Robinson. Whoops. It's not coming in too clearly. Sorry about that. But it's Frank Robinson in a Carnation milk ad. Then you have ads for Lucky Strike and Smirnoff that he worked with. right? You get black people in the ads for Lucky Strike cigarettes and Smirnoff vodka. Now, some of this does include some of the he does do some marketing for black inventors and black firsts in American history, inventors and whatnot, not to be just, but the point is to highlight the black entrepreneurial spirit. Standard gasoline and seal test protein builders. So in other words, this is you got TWA, former airline, get some black people in ads targeting, certainly you have Pepsi, which gets a lot of credit for being at the forefront of advertising to so-called Negroes and cream formula. So it's not it's not even Camel cigarettes. It's not even about black business. It's about bringing white ad revenue to commercial media, black-owned maybe commercial media spaces, or black targeting commercial media, or really hiring black marketing firms. So you would have like a black version of Mad Men, which would be a great series to show really what we're talking about here, because it's not, as was the case with Mad Men, it's not a concern for society. It's a concern for making money. So again, we don't have to spend too much time with it. I'd spent a little bit of too much time with it just to see, out of curiosity, where this, in that particular instance where Dr. Malveaux called out his name to demonstrate why my argument wasn't of value. In fact, quite the opposite. In looking into the work she cites, I would, maybe demonstrate by example the argument I was having with her about engaging in scholarship as opposed to ad hominem. But but more importantly is that the work that she suggested, she was right in that it is the font of her own argument, and many of the incorrect arguments being waged against mine, even again when they don't read it. But it is something that I do talk about in my work that shows why there's a flaw here, as opposed to, again, instead of engaging in actual critical scholarship, and actual political economy, actual deconstruction or investigation of the relationship between capital, power, race, class, etc., we get ad revenue, we get ad and marketing analysis and ideas and perspectives forming the base of what so many of us think we know about the economy and our relationship to it.
See, I tell you, start going over there in Fox News and all that stuff. That's when you was on
Ross Mack. Julianne Malveaux is telling me that I'm a this and I'm a that, and you ain't this and you ain't that. See? And you sitting there with somebody getting $200,000 to shill for Kamala Harris. Oh, Renee in the spreadsheet.
Sorry, y'all.
I mix what I like, what I like, what I like, what I like, what I like.